Love does not respond to pressure, chasing, or desperation. It responds to inner stillness, certainty, and quiet alignment. When you stop forcing love, love finally finds you. Most people believe marriage is something you hunt down, negotiate, or prove yourself worthy of. They think effort equals results, that the harder they try, the faster the door will open. Yet life operates on a deeper law. The more you strain, the more resistance you create. Marriage is not attracted to tension. It is drawn to peace. When you keep running after it, you announce internally that it is missing. And whatever you declare missing continues to remain absent. The less you try outwardly, the more power you activate inwardly. That inner shift is what rearranges circumstances. Marriage begins responding the moment your inner state stops begging and starts expecting. Not demanding, not pleading, but calmly knowing. This knowing carries weight. This knowing moves unseen forces. This knowing changes timing without you lifting a finger. Trying too hard comes from fear. Fear of time passing, fear of being alone, fear of comparison. But fear speaks a language that life does not reward. Life responds to identity, not anxiety. When you try to force marriage, you are declaring that you are incomplete without it. That declaration keeps you waiting. When you relax, you silently announce, I am whole already. And from wholeness, companionship flows naturally. Marriage is not a reward for effort. It is a reflection of self-concept. When you stop measuring your worth by relationship status, you become magnetic. You stop auditioning. You stop convincing. You stop proving. And suddenly, you are seen. The moment pressure leaves your energy, space opens for the right person to step in. The less you try does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop interfering. It means you trust the unseen process more than your frantic planning. When you try too hard, you grip life tightly. And whatever you grip tightly slips away. Relaxation is not laziness, it is alignment. Think of how sleep comes. The more you try to force sleep, the more awake you become. But when you let go, sleep arrives effortlessly. Marriage follows the same principle. The calmer your inner world becomes, the faster your outer world reorganizes. When your mind stops chasing timelines, your life stops delaying outcomes. There is a subtle power in living as if your desire is already settled. Not pretending, not acting, but internally resting. When marriage is no longer a problem to solve, it becomes an event that approaches you. People sense this shift. They feel it in your presence. You stop radiating need and start radiating stability. Stability is attractive. Certainty is irresistible. When you are no longer desperate to be chosen, you become someone worth choosing. This is why many people meet their spouse when they stop looking. Not because they gave up, but because they finally aligned. Marriage is not delayed by fate. It is delayed by internal resistance. Resistance wears the mask of overthinking, constant searching, repeated questioning. When will it happen? Is not an innocent question. It carries doubt. And doubt stretches time. Certainty compresses it. The less you try, the less you question. The less you question, the faster events move. Life moves swiftly when it meets clarity. When your heart rests, your future accelerates. You were never meant to chase love. Love moves toward clarity. Love moves toward calm confidence. When you stop adjusting yourself to be acceptable, you become authentic. Authenticity removes confusion. Confusion delays commitment. Clarity invites it. Marriage does not come to those who are perfect. It comes to those who are settled within themselves. Settled does not mean settled down. It means settled inside. When your inner dialogue no longer argues with life, life stops arguing with you. Effort belongs to action, not to identity. You can take steps, meet people, live fully, but internally, you must rest in the assumption that what you desire is natural for you. Trying too hard sends the message that marriage is difficult, rare, or uncertain. Letting go sends the opposite message. It says, This is normal for me. Life mirrors what feels normal. When marriage feels like a struggle inside, it stays distant outside. When it feels inevitable inside, it moves closer without noise. The paradox is simple. The less you chase, the more you attract. The less you analyze, the more you allow. Marriage is not hiding from you. It is waiting for you to stop interfering. When you stop mentally pushing it forward, it walks toward you. When you stop counting days, time speeds up. When you stop asking everyone for reassurance, certainty grows within you. And that certainty rearranges encounters, conversations, and decisions. Notice how often breakthroughs happen after surrender. Not surrender as defeat, but surrender as trust. When you finally say, I am okay either way, life responds with, now you are ready. Because readiness is not hunger, it is stability. Hunger consumes, stability attracts. Marriage requires stability of self before partnership of lives. When you stop trying to control how and when, you allow intelligence greater than your planning to operate. There is nothing wrong with desire. Desire is powerful. But desire mixed with tension becomes resistance. Desire mixed with faith becomes creation. Faith is not loud, it is quiet. It does not rush. It does not beg. It does not panic at silence. When messages are not returned, faith remains calm. When time passes, faith remains steady. This calmness is not passive, it is commanding. It tells life, I trust you to bring this at the perfect moment. And life responds by shortening the distance. Marriage does not arrive when you prove you deserve it. It arrives when you assume it belongs to you. Assumption is effortless. Trying is exhausting. When you stop exhausting yourself emotionally, you regain clarity. Clarity sharpens intuition. Intuition guides you naturally to the right place, the right conversation, the right connection. You are not late. You are not behind. You are simply learning how to stop blocking what wants to arrive. The less you try, the more space you create. Space is essential for anything to enter your life. Pressure collapses space. Relaxation expands it. When your mind stops hovering over the desire moves freely. Marriage does not like being watched anxiously. It prefers to surprise you when you are busy living. When joy returns to your daily life, love finds an opening. Joy is an invitation. Peace is permission. Stop measuring progress by visible signs. Invisible alignment always comes first. When inner alignment is complete, outer movement is immediate. The seed does not announce its growth underground. It simply breaks through when the time is right. Your role is not to dig the soil every day to check. Your role is to trust the process. The less you disturb it, the faster it grows. Marriage is not something you pull toward you. It is something you allow to flow to you. Allowing requires courage. It requires releasing the belief that effort equals worthiness. You are worthy now. You are complete now. When you embody this truth, circumstances rearrange with speed that surprises you. What felt delayed suddenly feels inevitable. So relax your grip. Release the pressure. Let go of timelines, comparisons, and fear-driven strategies. Live fully, confidently, peacefully. The less you try, the faster marriage happens. Because when you stop chasing love, love finally has room to catch up to you. Marriage never responds to urgency, pressure, or emotional strain. It responds to quiet certainty within you. When your inner world knows something without needing proof, life aligns effortlessly around that knowing. Chasing, forcing, or constantly thinking about marriage sends a hidden message of lack, and life can only reflect what you assume to be true. When you relax internally, you signal completeness rather than need. This inner completeness changes the way situations unfold. Conversations shift naturally, connections deepen without effort, and opportunities arise without planning. Certainty has a gravity to it. It pulls experiences toward you. You do not have to announce it or explain it, it is felt. The more settled your inner belief becomes, the less resistance exists between you and marriage. Life moves quickly, when it meets calm assurance. What once felt distant suddenly feels near. This is not coincidence. It is alignment, responding to an unshaken inner state. The sense of incompleteness is what delays union, not the absence of a partner. When you believe that marriage will finally make you whole, you unknowingly push it further away. Wholeness must come first. When you no longer see marriage as a solution to loneliness or emptiness, it becomes a natural extension of your already fulfilled life. From this state, you stop seeking validation and start radiating stability. People are drawn to those who are at ease with themselves. Life mirrors this ease by bringing companionship without struggle. The irony is powerful. The moment you stop trying to fill a void, life fills your space. You no longer search, you allow. You no longer wait, you live. This inner shift removes desperation from your energy. And where desperation once created delay, calm presence now creates movement. Marriage flows easily to those who are no longer chasing it for completion. Effort driven by fear never produces lasting results. When you try too hard, you are reacting to anxiety, not acting from confidence. This tension creates resistance, slowing everything down. Calm expectation works differently. It assumes success without emotional noise. When you expect quietly, you are not rushing the process, you are trusting it. Life accelerates when it is not being mentally pressured. The more relaxed your expectation, the faster circumstances reorganize. This is because calm expectation carries clarity. Clarity removes confusion. Confusion delays decisions. When your inner world is peaceful, events line up with surprising speed. The absence of struggle is not a lack of desire, it is mastery of it. When you stop fighting time, time cooperates. When you stop questioning the outcome approaches naturally. What once felt slow begins to move swiftly, all because resistance has dissolved. Marriage must feel normal within you before it appears in your life. When it feels distant, difficult, or uncertain inside, it remains that way outside. But when it feels ordinary, expected, and natural, life treats it the same way. Your inner sense of normalcy shapes your experiences. If marriage feels like a miracle you must earn, it stays out of reach. If it feels like a natural chapter of your life, it unfolds with ease. This internal familiarity removes surprise and struggle from the process. You no longer wonder if it will happen. You simply know it will. That knowing removes urgency. And urgency is what blocks flow. When marriage becomes emotionally settled inside you, actions outside align without effort. You meet people effortlessly. Conversations feel aligned. Decisions unfold smoothly. Life reflects your inner assumption every time. Timelines are born from fear, not wisdom. When you attach your happiness to a specific time, pressure enters your mind. Pressure creates impatience, and impatience distorts perception. You begin to misinterpret delays as failures and silence as rejection. When you release timelines, you return to trust. Trust allows life to surprise you. Without deadlines weighing on your heart, your energy becomes lighter. This lightness invites movement. Ironically, letting go of time speeds everything up. When you are no longer watching the clock, moments pass quickly. When you are no longer counting years, life rearranges faster. Time stretches under worry and contracts under faith. Releasing timelines does not mean giving up. It means allowing intelligence beyond your control to operate. When you stop asking when, life quietly answers with action. Peace is more magnetic than effort will ever be. No amount of strategy can replace inner stability. When you are at peace, you move differently, speak differently, and choose differently. People sense this without explanation. Peace signals emotional maturity, self-trust, and readiness for partnership. Effort tries to impress. Peace invites. Effort seeks approval. Peace commands respect. Marriage is not attracted to performance. It is attracted to presence. When your inner world is steady, you stop overcorrecting and overgiving. This balance creates healthy attraction. Life responds by aligning you with someone who matches your emotional frequency. Peace removes drama, confusion, and mixed signals. What remains is clarity, and clarity shortens distance. When peace becomes your dominant state, marriage no longer feels complicated. It feels simple, natural, and near. Interference comes from overthinking, controlling, and doubting the process. Trust removes all three. When you trust life, you stop micromanaging outcomes. You stop replaying conversations. You stop forcing signs. This mental silence creates space. Space is essential for anything new to enter. Marriage does not arrive in crowded, anxious minds. It arrives in open, trusting hearts. When you stop interfering, life organizes details far better than you ever could. Meetings happen at the right moment. Words land perfectly. Decisions feel guided. Trust does not rush or delay. It allows precision. The less you interfere, the smoother everything unfolds. Marriage becomes a natural consequence of alignment rather than a goal you chase. When trust replaces control, movement replaces stagnation. What once felt stuck begins to flow, effortlessly and inevitably.